Hello, Math 7 students. We are working on Module 2, Lesson 7 today. So if I go to my comp book and I look at Module 2, Lesson 7, it would be helpful if I showed you. It is called The Distance Between Two Rational Numbers, and it can be found on page 63 in my comp book. So I'm going to turn there. Page 63. All right, and here we go, page 63. The distance between two rational numbers. Okay, the goal. Today we are going to learn how to identify the distance between two numbers. Okay, the question that I want you to be thinking about is it possible to use absolute value to find the distance between a number and another number that is not 0? Is it possible to use the absolute value to figure out the distance, basically? I would say, looking at this, we need to talk about first what it means to have distance, okay? And distance is the amount of space between two numbers. Distance is the amount of space between two numbers. You can either count the spaces to determine the distance, or you can also subtract the two numbers and take the absolute value. So there's two ways to do it. If I ask you to tell me the distance between -3 and 9, there's two ways to do this. The first thing you can do, which a lot of kids like to do, is they draw it, and they use their number line as a tool. So here is 0, and we would go 1, 2, 3, that's -3, put a dot right there, and then the other number was 9, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, put a 9 and put a dot there. And then all you have to do is count in between them. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the distance between these two spots on the number line is 12 spaces. Okay, that's one way to do it. Now, here's where it gets tricky and where you're not going to want to draw the number line is, what if I tell you that the number was 57 and the other number was -103? Okay, now all of you are going, holy moly, that would be a very, very, very long number line. So we don't want to draw that long of a number line. So the other thing that it said that we could do is it says you can also subtract the two numbers and take the absolute value. So if we're subtracting these two numbers, because we learned the rules for subtraction, we could say that we're going to take 57 and we're going to subtract the two numbers, so that's a -103. And we learned yesterday in yesterday's lesson to understand this, that every subtraction problem can become an addition problem as long as you add the opposite. So I have 57 and I'm adding the opposite of that. Well, what is the opposite of -103? The opposite of -103 is 103. Okay, so that wasn't too hard. So now it's saying that I take 57 plus 103. Well, I'm one of those people that adds better if it's vertically written, so I'm going to change how I wrote it. 3 plus 7 is 10, regroup the 1, 5 plus 0 is 5, plus 1 is 6, and then 1 plus nothing is 1. And so I now know that the distance, because I'm going to take the absolute value of this amount, and the absolute value of 160 is 160. So the distance between 57 and -103 is 160 spaces. See why you don't want to write the number line? So this is a very helpful tool when you're trying to find the distance between any two numbers. You can also subtract the two numbers and take the absolute value. And I just showed you how to do that with both types of numbers. Okay, some more examples of this is, what if we're trying to find the distance between -9 and +5? Because we're subtracting, remember, -9 minus 5. So I have -9. Subtraction problems become adding the opposite. So the opposite of 5 is -5. So I have -9 plus a -5. -9 plus a -5 is a -14. take the absolute value of negative 14, and I have now found that there are 14 spaces between negative 9 and negative 5. So the distance would be 14. The other thing that I need you very, 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 very carefully to remember is that distance is always positive. That's why we take the absolute value, because distance is always positive. All right, for your practice by yourself, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 problems that you need to show me in your comp book for your practice, and we're going to see them on the board in the morning. Find the distance between the numbers below. You can do it two ways. You can draw a number line and show it. So you could draw a number line, put 3, put 8, and then show me how far it is. Or you can practice it this way, where you subtract the two numbers and take the absolute value. Okay? Either way, you need to do this set, 3 and 8. You need to do negative 3 and 5. You need to do negative 9 and negative 2. And you need to do negative 2 and 9. And I need to see those in your comp books. Okay? Going back to our goal, today we are going to learn how to identify the distance between two numbers. We did that. I gave you two different methods or two different ways of doing that. The question, is it possible to use the absolute value to find the distance between a number and another number that is not 0? What's your answer, everybody? Hopefully saying, yes, it is possible, because she just showed us. All right, that's it. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Okay.